Assalamualaikum dear students of first year MBBS. I am Dr. Barira Mumtaz and today we will be resuming our practical work of biochemistry. This is the list of practicals we are going to perform in our first year course. As you people already know, we have performed the first 8 practicals among this list, and today we are going to start with the test of proteins. Now, this is the list of practicals we are going to perform in our first year course of practical biochemistry. As you people already have done till analysis of maltose, so today we will be starting with the test of proteins. So first test in the detection of proteins, first we will do biuret test. This test is used for the detection of proteins. The reagents used are sodium hydroxide solution and copper sulfate. The principle behind this test is that in the presence of alkaline medium, cupric ion given by copper sulfate reacts with peptide linkage to form bluish violet color, and the intensity of color depends on the amount of protein present. Now procedure: take 2 ml of original solution in a test tube and add few drops of 2% copper sulfate. Add 1 ml of 5% sodium hydroxide and mix. The observation is that bluish violet color complex is formed if the proteins are present in the solution, and the inference is that protein is present in the solution if the test comes positive. The next test we perform is ninhydrin test, which is used for the detection of amino acids. The reagents used are ninhydrin solution, and the principle is that ninhydrin recarboxylate by heating with amino acids is reduced, and its reduced form reacts with ammonia of amino acids to give blue colored complex. The procedure of this test is take 2 ml of original solution in a test tube and add 0.5 ml of ninhydrin reagent. Heat it for 1 minute and then cool it. Observation is that blue color is seen if amino acids are present in the solution, and the inference is that amino acids are present. The next test we perform is xanthoprotein test, which is used for the detection of aromatic amino acids, which are tryptophan, tyrosine and phenylalanine. The reagents used are concentrated nitric acid and aqueous ammonia. The principle behind this test is that benzene ring in some amino acids reacts with nitric acid to form nitrobenzene, which is yellow colored, and this color is intensified by addition of aqueous ammonia. The procedure is that take 2 ml of original solution in a test tube and add few drops of concentrated nitric acid. Mix it and heat it for 1 minute. Then cool it and add few drops of aqueous ammonia. The observation is that yellow precipitate is formed, which is intensified by aqueous ammonia, and the inference is that aromatic amino acids are present. The next test is Millen's test, which is used specifically for the detection of tyrosine. The reagents used are mercuric and mercurous nitrate in nitric acid, and the principle is that Millen reagent reacts with phenolic group of tyrosine to form mercuric fumarate, which gives pinkish or reddish color. The procedure is that take 2 ml of original solution in a test tube and add 1 ml of Millen's reagent. Mix it, then heat it till boiling. The observation is pinkish or reddish color appeared, and the inference is that tyrosine is present in the solution. The next test we are going to perform is Hopkins-Coons test, which is used for the detection of tryptophan. The reagents are Hopkins-Coons reagent, which is magnesium with glyoxylic acid and sulfuric acid. The principle is that concentrated sulfuric acid causes dehydration of tryptophan, which reacts with Hopkins-Coons reagent to give reddish violet ring between the two layers. The procedure is that take 2 ml of original solution in a test tube and add 1 ml of Hopkins-Cool's reagent. Mix it and then add 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid along the side of the test tube. The observation is that reddish violet ring between two layers is formed, which shows the presence of tryptophan in the solution. Then we will perform cysteine test, which is used for the detection of sulfur containing amino acids, which are methionine and cysteine. The reagents used are sodium hydroxide and lead acetate. The principle is that in the presence of sodium hydroxide, lead acetate reacts with sulfur of the amino acids to form lead sulfide, which gives grayish white precipitate. The procedure is that take 2 ml of original solution in a test tube and add 1 ml of 20% sodium hydroxide and add few drops of 4% lead acetate. The observation is that grayish white precipitate is formed in the presence of sulfur containing amino acids. The inference is that sulfur containing amino acids are present in the solution. After that, we will perform heat coagulation test, which is used for the detection of albumin and globulin. The reagent used is acetic acid, and the principle is when proteins are heated in acidic medium, they become denatured due to destruction of certain bonds and the protein becomes coagulated. Coagulated is maximum at isoelectric pH of proteins. The procedure is that fill 2/3 of the test tube with original solution and add few drops of acetic acid. Heat upper portion of the test tube. The observation is that thick white coagulum is seen in the upper part of the test tube, which shows the presence of albumin and globulin. The next test is ammonium sulfate saturation test. This test is performed to precipitate certain proteins at different concentration of this solution. The principle behind this is that proteins are precipitated out by ammonium sulfate due to dehydration and neutralization reaction. This process is known as salting out. Albumin, due to large surface area, hold more water than gelatin and globulin. So albumin require much higher concentration of ammonium sulfate than gelatin or globulin to be precipitated out, while peptones are not precipitated by ammonium sulfate. The procedure for 50% saturation is that take 2 ml of diluted water in the test tube, saturate it with ammonium sulfate crystals so that 100% saturation is obtained. When no more crystals dissolve in the solution and some of the crystals settle down in the test tube. The procedure we just performed gave us 100% solution of ammonium sulfate. Now we have to perform the test for 50% saturation. For it, we take 1 ml of that 100% solution and add 1 ml of original solution, which gives us 50% solution of the ammonium sulfate. The observation is that white precipitate is formed if gelatin or globulin is present in the solution. Now the next step is for 100% saturation. If that 50% saturation test is negative, then we add more ammonium sulfate crystals to that solution to make it again 100% saturated, and note the appearance of white precipitate. If white precipitate is formed, then albumin is present in the solution. So that was all about the introduction of the test for analysis of different types of proteins along with their principles, which we are going to perform in the next session. So thank you.